Okay, so welcome to chair yoga. Today, we're going to be working on, through Chinese medicine, the element of wood, which is representing for the season of spring. The two paired meridian channels for the wood element are the gallbladder and the liver. So we'll be working poses that will be helping to influence those channels. But just so you kind of know a little bit about it, so the liver starts at the big toe and it kind of wanders up this inner leg and it keeps going up and then it basically ends on both sides. It'll go on both sides and it'll end like right around the rib cage. So on the right side would be where your actual liver is. And then the gallbladder starts at the outer corner of the eye on both sides. And it goes and wraps around your ear and it kind of goes down the side of the neck and it kind of travels down the side body and then down to the side of the hips and kind of wanders all the way down to the side of the leg. And then it kind of juts in a little bit and kind of goes to that fourth toe. So if you can imagine like some of the poses that we'll be doing today would be like the inner and outer thighs, the rib cage, like side bending, a little twisting, and definitely some wide leg poses and some inner thigh work. So we'll do some stuff sitting, we'll do some stuff standing, and I'll just try to bring your awareness to a couple of points just so you kind of have them available to you if you ever choose to use those. But let's just start out here just to kind of welcome in whatever we got going on in the body today. So just place our hands on your thighs, sit up nice and tall, relax those shoulders, and let's close the eyes. And just taking in your breath through the nose and releasing the breath through your nose. Becoming aware of your internal world, stopping being sensations in the body, thoughts in the mind, and then taking in all of your senses. So even with your eyes closed, you can still have, a little bit of visuals, like just pulling up memories in your mind. But then hearing and the tactile sense of the feeling of your clothes on your skin, your hands as they're touching anywhere in your body. So whether the shirt or the pants, the feet on the floor, those sorts of things. And with your olfactory senses of sense of taste and smell. So you could possibly have something in your environment. Maybe you just made breakfast or something, or someone around you is making breakfast. You can smell that. And then the taste could be maybe you just ate something, or it could bring something from memory into that goose dairy to taste. But let's just focus on everything all at once. Everything that's kind of happening at the same time. And just remaining calm and relaxed. So some emotions that can show up here if you're imbalanced in the liver or gallbladder would be like anger or frustration. Can also get like sometimes we get headaches during the season. The liver energy, the yang, the energy rising upwards can cause headaches. Sometimes they'll show up in the morning. They could also be like frontal headaches or maybe like feeling the whole head. And one of the points I'm going to show you for the gallbladder would be on the back of the head is really good for that headache that we get. And sometimes the front too, you can just do that one spot in the middle. So just noticing anything that's showing up. Just about 2 or 3 more breaths, then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so just considering your intention for class today, we're going to join our palms together Place them at the heart center, setting your intention for a practice. So it could be a learning experience. It could be anything that you want it to be. Just being present is good too. And then we're simply going to let that intention go. So you're going to extend those arms up and out and just releasing that out into the universe as your arms float all the way down. So what we're gonna do is start out with just some movements just to kind of warm up everything. So place our hands on our thighs and we're going to move through a seated cat and cow. So we're just going to lead with the sternum. And then as you exhale, we're going to round the spine, right? So pulling the belly button in around that whole spine and just moving into a place that feels good, right? So just make sure you feel safe in your body as we're moving. Use your breath, the inhales and the exhales. And we'll just do 2 more rounds of seated cat and cow. And last one. And come back to neutral spine once you're finished, and you're just going to be sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of just some tracing, and we're going to start out with the right here at the outer corners of the eyes. So just go ahead, just massage like right at the outer eyebrow, and just kind of take your massage here. And then we're going to go out, and then you're going to go up and around your ear. And then we're going to slide down the sides of the neck and you're going to come out the shoulder. And then we're just going to go straight down from your armpit, down the waist, down the sides of your hips, and then slide your fingers all the way down to your 4th toe. And then we're going to move the fingers between, like around the big toe. We're going to slide between the big toe and the 2nd toe. And then we're going to come to the inner ankle bone and then go up the inner thighs. And then up and over the lower belly, and you're just going to end right here at the ribs, and you can just massage here at the end. Okay, and then relax your arms down. So we're going to do side bending, and this will be, opening up that side body where some of those gallbladder points are. So we're going to reach up and over, and then just holding that position. You can look down at the floor, you can look up toward the ceiling. We'll take about 3 rounds of breath here, positioning the head in whatever feels appropriate. And just blowing that breath right in through the nose, out through the nose. Feel your lungs opening. And then we're going to release, come all the way back up, sit up nice and tall, and then we're going to switch to the other side, reaching over. And again, you can choose to look down or up. And use your exhale, come all the way back up and sit tall. And then we're just going to do a gentle twist. So we're just going to turn and just gentle, just kind of hold it for a breath. And then switch to the other side. And hold for a breath. And then we'll go again. Just gentle twisting. And then back to center. Now we're going to take our hands and we're going to go like this on the back of your head. So your thumbs will be like below the occipital ridge. So if you just take the hands, kind of gently place them in the center back of your head and just let those thumbs go right straight down. And then you can just make some circles with your thumbs. These are like a couple of gallbladder points back there. You should also feel like your thumb just kind of goes right into this hollow point there in your neck. And if you sit up tall and just gently take your thumbs and massaging in there, it feels pretty good. Like when you massage it, you could have some sensitivity there. So if you do have sensitivity there, just go a little bit like less with the pressure. And this also is really helpful for like if you get any kind of like those headaches, right? And make sure you go both directions. Okay, and then we'll just release that and shake out those arms. The next point we'll do is like the bottom of your foot. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and just Bring your feet together like this and let your knees go wider, and we can slide forward just a little bit onto the chair. So the soles of feet together, and we'll be stretching out those inner thighs, right, which will get those liver points, and bring the bottoms of your feet together. And we'll start out here. We're just going to take a few breaths, just holding this position. And then we're going to go to the liver 3, which is going to be at the top of your foot. And it's going to right between your big toe and the second toe. And once we get there, I'll explain more, but that's kind of the general area where we want to go with our forefinger or maybe your thumb. And the liver 3 is really nice for calming energy, grounding energy. I always like that one before I go to bed at night, to help with sleep. So to get to that point, you can do one of two things. You can fold forward and grab your thumb and just do either foot. It doesn't matter. You can do both. You don't have to. Between the big toe and little toe, and if you slide your finger back a couple inches, again, you're going to find a hollow point there. That's what you're looking for. So you can do that and fold. But if you don't want to, you could just simply pick your foot up and just place it on your opposite leg and do that massaging there on liver 3. So either way you want to do it. And again, you don't have to do both sides. You can just do one. But if you want to, you can. So just massage both directions with your thumb or index finger. And again, this could also be tender. So just be mindful of that to just reduce that pressure so you're not pushing in as hard. Okay, and then you can just release your foot if it's lifted, and if you're folded forward, you can come to sit up tall. Now we're going to take the legs, we're going to bring them together, and then we're going to keep the knees together, and we're going to separate those feet. And I know this feels weird, but we're now stretching the outer thighs, right? So feel the stretch going down from your outer hips to your outer knees. This is like where the IT bands are. So sometimes we have tightness here, but these are also going to be those gallbladder points. So let's sit up tall, keep the feet flat on the floor, just turn your toes in if you can. I know it feels kind of awkward, but we're just going to hold this for a couple of breaths. And then you're going to lift those heels up and then separate your knees and then drop your heels down. So we'll be back in that seated mountain pose, and just check your feet, make sure they're even. And then we'll take a breath in as we stretch those arms up. And now we're going to fold those arms in. So you're basically just having those forearms resting on the crown of your head. And we're going to do a side bend again. So we're just going to allow our body to tip over to one side. It's a little bit deeper stretch here because you have more weight on your head. Good. Take another breath in, and then slowly come back to center. Feel like you're lengthening up through the crown of your head. You're pushing up into your forearms and then tilting over to the other direction. And just another breath here. And then slowly returning all the way up, and then find that length through the top of your head. Reach your arms up, rotate your palms, and press the palms all the way down to the ground. Okay, so we're going to make our way up to standing. So we'll go ahead and slide forward into your chair. You're going to hinge forward from your waist, and then we're going to push down into the feet and slowly come all the way up to stand. Just the camera here. Okay, so we're going to stand just right next to our chair. To begin, we're going to find our feet on the ground. So if you can, just look down at your toes. Let's lift the toes off the floor. Try to spread them out as much as possible, and then replace them down on the ground. And if you have shoes or socks on, just kind of do those with your shoes on. If you can take your shoes off and have socks on, that's fine too. I decided to be barefoot today and brave it because it's still chilly in here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lift the heels up. You can hold your chair if you want to, but we're going to be pressing through those toes as we lift both of the heels off the floor. And again, we're reaching through the top of your head, and then we're going to slowly release those heels down. Let's do a couple more. We're lifting up. And again, if you need to use the chair for balance, and noticing if you have a tendency to kind of roll out or roll in, and I want you to try to keep that weight spread out across the toes and then land. So we're just being really curious, and we're going to do one more. Spread your toes out, feel that balance from the big toe to the little toe, and then we're going to lift up one more time. and see if you can hold it. You can look straight ahead and gently land. Okay, let's move some space here. So I'm gonna slide my chair over and we're gonna go into that wide stance. We're gonna turn the heels in, toes out. And let's put our hands all the way on top of our hip bones here. We're gonna push down into those feet to allow the knees to bend out to the side. So this again, it's gonna get into this inner thighs to stretch them. You're gonna stay grounded through your feet. And then we're gonna take the arms like a cactus arm or goalpost arms. And we're gonna hold this position, right? So it's gonna start to feel a little bit more fatigue in your legs. We're gonna bring the elbows and palms together and then apart. So we're distracting ourselves by moving the arms while we're really working the legs. All right, last one. Together apart. And then put your hands on your thighs and then push down through your feet to straighten those legs. And then pivot your feet so they're now facing parallel. And we're gonna go ahead and put our hands up on our hips again. We're gonna bring our chest and sternum up towards the ceiling, and you can lift your gaze if you want to. So just taking a standing forward, back bend. You can bend your knees slightly. And let's come all the way up to return. Okay, warrior two. Your foot that's closest to the chair, we're gonna pivot, turn it out 90 degrees. Back foot will be turning in slightly. Same principle, we're pushing down into those feet. It's almost like you're trying to push your heel and glide it forward to allow that knee to bend. And then think about dragging your toes back to straighten the leg. Okay, we'll do that a couple more times. Bend and straighten. So we're pulling that leg bone up into the hip socket. Now we're gonna hold it in that bent knee position. Arms are gonna go wide, palms turned up. And your gaze is gonna look forward. So we're in warrior two. And finding that reach from both the front and the back arm. Full breath in through your nose and exhale. So finding some calming energy here. Now we're going to go reverse warrior. So we're going to reach up and down at the same time. We're also getting a side stretch. And this calming energy, which we're bringing in from the ground, is going to help us with that powerful, energetic emotion of anger and frustration that can sometimes come up this time of year. And then bring it back in. So we're back in warrior two, find that balance, balancing emotions. And then your hand's going to go to the front thigh, or you can put your forearm there. We're going to stretch all the way up and then over as far as you can. And you can choose to look down or up with this one as well. And again, using those feet to press down into the earth to return to that warrior two position. And then let the arms come down. And then we'll straighten that front leg. We're gonna do triangle. So we're gonna have two straight legs. Let's start with reaching the front arm up. Getting a lot of space in our side body, which we wanna keep. So no collapsing here. You can use your hand to kind of guide you as we stretch and reach forward, and then placing your hand anywhere. So on the chair, the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, your leg, but don't collapse here. Maintain this space. So I like the chair because it does help me to open here. And then we're gonna slowly turn your chest. So if you put your hand on your sternum and allow the chest to turn first, and then extend that arm up, right? So you can feel both sides of your waist are open. And then you can look up or keep your head neutral or look down. And then pressing into your back heel slightly. And let's see if we can find some space, a little bit more space as you lean back just a little tiny bit. And then full breaths in and out of your lungs. Okay, you're going to release the top arm first, let that come down. Look down at your chair, and then let's push into the front foot and let your torso come all the way back up. Pivot your feet, and then we're going to heel toe back into mountain pose. And let's just take a moment to close your eyes and just check in. Noticing your emotions, noticing your state of mind. Notice your breathing. And then all we're trying to do is just bring in this beautiful energy from Earth to help us calm, find that calmness and release tension. So we're going to go around to the other side. And we'll do that same thing again. Starting out with the goddess pose. So feet will go wide, heels turn in, toes turn out, hands up on hips. And we're going to press down through the feet and just allow those knees to bend out. This time we're going to keep it more of a flow instead of holding it. So we'll have those arms back in that goal post. You're going to push down through the feet to straighten both legs and reach your arms up high. And then as you exhale, you'll bend both the elbows and the knees. Let's do about 4 more of these with your breath. Okay, and then we're gonna hold it there. Hands on thighs, press down to straighten the legs. And then we're gonna go right into the warrior two. So we're just gonna continue pivoting that foot closest to the chair and then turning that other foot in slightly. Push down through your feet, so it's kind of like pushing down and away to let that knee bend. And then inhale, arms apart, palms up, gaze forward. We're gonna hold this warrior two for about 3 breaths. And just bringing in that calming, relaxing energy. Soften your gaze, soften your jaw. Relax the shoulders. And then reverse the warrior. So we're going to reach up and down at the same time. And again, just noticing your body where you feel tension. Bring your awareness to it, release it. The only thing that should feel really tight or tense right now is going to be those legs, especially because they're holding this in this position. And let's come back to warrior two. Take a breath here. And then side angle pose. Hand, forearm on that front thigh, reaching up first. And then taking it over as far as you can. Let your rib cage turn a little bit. So we're opening. So getting a little bit of rotation, just a little bit of twisting. And then looking down, pressing to your feet. Let's come back to warrior two. Take a breath, and then we're going to straighten that front leg, preparing for triangle pose. Remember, we want to maintain this space here. You can put your backhand on your hip. Reach out, lengthen over, and I think this is probably the best way is put your hand here on the back of your chair. Slowly turn the ribs. And then you can either keep your hand here, or you can take it up. Pressing into your back heel, firing off that back glute, and then see if you can lean back just a little tiny bit to get more expansion across the chest. And one more full breath. Shift your gaze down, release the back arm, and then pressing into your front foot. Release your hand from the back of the chair, coming all the way up. Turn your feet, and then we'll do heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, back to mountain pose. We're going to finish up with those heel raises again. So we'll start out again, lifting and spreading the toes, pushing them down into the earth, feel that groundedness. And then if you held the chair the last time, see if you can do it with not holding on. Lifting up straight up. So your crown of your head lifting and then lower. Look straight ahead. And we're building up strength in our toes and our feet. Good, last 2. And then last 1. And then all the way down. And then just kind of shake out those legs a little bit. We're gonna walk to the front of the chair. We're gonna go into chair pose. So you're gonna bring your hands to your heart. Reach those hips back. So you're just gonna be barely hovering over your seat. We'll take about 2 more breaths here, and then you're gonna gently land. Okay, next exhale, slowly, slowly have a seat. Sit up tall, release those arms down. Now we're gonna widen the legs here and slide fairly close to the front edge of your seat. Let's go ahead and put forearm with the palm facing up on the thigh, and then let's reach over. So this is kind of that side angle pose, except we're seated. And we're getting both of the inner thighs stretching here and the side body. You can take your hand, gently place it on the back of your head, and if you're doing that, press the back of the head into your hand, and then turn to look upwards. Good, one more breath. And then you're going to use your exhale, bring one arm up, then both. And then we're going to switch to the other side, bending that elbow, just let it land on your thigh. Leaning over, bending your elbow, just place the hand on the center back of your head and push back into it, really open. And then if you can, slowly turn your head to look up. Good, one more breath. Release, take both arms up, stretch up, reach up, and then exhale, bend those elbows. Bring your palms together. We're going to move into eagle arms. So palms together, elbows together, heel toe your feet together. Look at your elbow creases. We're going to lift up the right elbow, place it on top of the left, and then you're going to either hold opposite shoulders, hook your thumbs, or bring your palms together. And then you can stay right here, or the other option would be to add the leg portion, which would be crossing your leg over, right? So you're going to sit up really tall. Take a breath in. Let's lift the elbows up, and then we're going to slowly descend the elbows towards your thighs any amount, right? So if you meet restriction, just pause there. You could always put a pillow on your thighs if you want. And then shift your gaze downward towards the earth. So with the legs crossed and the arms crossed like this, we're creating like a little bit of restriction of blood flow here. Not a lot, but just a little. Which is going to, when we come out of it, it's going to feel really invigorating as the blood flows down into the extremities, like the hands, the fingers, the legs, and the toes. Let's take about one more breath here. And then you're going to lift your elbows back up, and we're going to unwind the arms and uncross the legs at the same time. So go ahead and do that. Take a big breath in. You can step your legs out wide, reaching out, and then we're just going to shake those arms all the way back down. Roll out the shoulders and sit up tall. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and bring your feet together, legs together. Bend your elbows, and then this time we'll do left elbow crease on top of the right. And you can do any variation, hugging yourself, hooking your thumbs, palms together. And then if you want to take the full version of eagle pose, you're going to cross your left leg over. And then we're going to sit up real tall here. And as you exhale, go ahead and melt forward. Go slow, no rushing. Use your breath to find a deeper posture. You can always put a pillow on your thigh too if you need to. You can have your eyes closed. You can look down towards the earth. And just being present with sensation. Noticing the calmness that comes up from this pose. I really think this is like one of my favorites. Get a last breath in. And then use your exhale. We're going to sit back up again. And then together, you're going to unwind the legs and the arms, and you're going to step out wide with your feet. So you're going to take them out wide, shake it out if you want to, stretch and reach. And then as you exhale, the arms come down, bring your feet together, rest your hands on your thighs. We're going to close the eyes, and this pose has such a great energetic effect. I'm going to have you sit with it and just feel and notice. So you might notice like tingling sensations where the blood flows moving back into the hands and fingers and feet and the toes. You might feel a sense of calmness. You're just taking it all in. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a seated back bend. If you want to use a pillow, you could put it behind your back, or you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can put your hands back there. And if you are using your hands, just if you can get your palms to press into the chair, we're gonna go ahead and let the sternum lift. So if you imagine that a string is tied here and it's lifting you straight up. So go ahead and get yourself in position. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other, lift your chest, lift your gaze, and then stay there. And if you're using the pillow, just allow that to support your upper back. Beautiful. Last breath. And then go ahead and release. Slowly sit back up again and find your seated mountain pose. We're going to move into a deeper twist this time. So the first one we did at the beginning was a more of a warm up. This is going to be deeper because we are already warmed up. So you're going to be crossing one arm over, just holding that outer thigh, and then bring the other one behind you. First, take a moment to breathe in, lengthen upwards, and then maintain that length as you slowly turn. So we're going to be turning. You should feel this in your ribs and the chest and the shoulders. So from the belly, the rib cage, the chest and shoulders, neck and head, we're going to be turning slowly. Maintaining a long spine, so from the tailbone out through the crown of your head. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed if you can. Maintain that smooth breath and then releasing any tension in the face and jaw. And then play around with your eye gaze and see if you can look further behind you. And as you're looking behind you, notice that the body can go a little bit deeper into your twist. Okay, we're going to take our time to come out. So go ahead and start that exhale, moving all the way back to center. Let's do a couple of torso circles before we go to the other side. So just close your eyes. Feel your bones at the base of your spine. So your sit bones, your tailbone, pubic bone on your chair as we rotate the torso around. So just be curious about which side you chose to move in, whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise. And then remember that because we're going to do that opposite direction after we come out of the twist on the other side, okay? So moving into twist, crossing that arm over, bringing that hand behind you, lengthen up through the top of your head, slowly turning. So allowing the belly, the ribs, chest, shoulders, neck, head. And then use your eyes to move last. So you're going to turn your eye gaze behind you. And again, checking those shoulders, try to keep them relaxed. Noticing if you're tensing around the face anywhere, the eyebrows, the forehead, the jaw. And then again, play with the eyes and see if you can take them back even further, noticing if the body follows behind them. All right, last inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to move all the way back to center, hands on thighs. And remembering, go the other direction on your circles this time. So if you went clockwise, go counterclockwise. And same if you went counterclockwise first. So just moving in the opposite direction. I had to think about it for a minute. So I'm like, which way did I go? So these circular movements are very nourishing and calming on your nervous system. So if you're starting to feel like you're getting frustrated or stressed, if you just take a moment and just pause and stop what you're doing, close your eyes, And you can do this sitting or standing. You can do little torso circles with your hips. You can rotate the body in standing position. You can do it in seated position. But most importantly is you're just gonna, when you notice you're getting yourself upset, angry, frustrated, is taking a moment to notice the signs that you're going into that state, and then can you shift out of it just by becoming aware of your body and how you hold yourself, right? So when we start to get angry, think about what we do, we tense, right? Our breath becomes a little bit more quick or shallow, and we can feel this like energy going up, 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 right? We want to bring it down. So we always want to think about pulling that energy down to the earth. So we're going to do a little breathing technique that I like to do. I'm starting to feel that it's coming up, right? So that's that anger, that's that liver energy rising, right? So we want to bring it down. So you're going to take a breath and we're going to circle the arms up, and then you're going to stop like right above the crown. Then we're going to take a slow exhale as you trace down. So we're just washing that nice calm energy right over top of us. So you're going to bring it up from the earth as you inhale, and then you're going to exhale and just wash it all the way down through the head, all the way down to your, if you're standing, you go all the way down to your feet. But just imagine it's going all the way down to the toes. And you want to do about 8 to 10 of these nice calming breaths, especially if you're starting to feel really angry. Look, if you're out in public, you can just go into a bathroom stall if you're embarrassed to do it. But you can also just close your eyes and just do the breathing, right? About 4 or 5 count inhale and about a 6 to 8 count exhale. So the exhale is always going to be longer than that in breath. Okay, we're doing it again a couple more times. Breathing in, slowly breathing out, just feeling that calming energy just washing all down your body. Last one, breathe in, bring up that energy, and then pour that energy all down. And then just relax for a second. Just take a moment, see how you feel. Okay, and then just blinking open your eyes. If you have a pillow or something like a support, we're gonna go ahead and grab that. And if you don't have it, don't worry about it. It's like you just keep your feet on the floor, but we're gonna use it just to kind of elevate the feet a little bit. So if you can, just place your soles of your feet together, and we're gonna go ahead and sit up real tall here. Let the feet feel relaxed and comfortable. And again, they can be on the floor, they can be supported. We're just gonna let our hands rest on those inner thighs a little bit. We're gonna sit up real tall, close the eyes down. So think about this as a circuit, right? From the bottoms of your feet, up the inner thighs, into the pelvis, right? So there's a big circuit here, that's energy. And we're just thinking about healing and clearing our liver from the big toe all the way up into the pelvis and hips. Okay, last breath, and then you're going to bring your knees together. And now we're going to take that pillow out, and we're going to bring it behind us. If you have it behind you for support, you can just bring it right behind your mid lower back area. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. Just feel that support behind you. And then we're going to inhale the arms up. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and place the hands just again on the back of the head here. And we're going to massage again on those gallbladder points just below where your skull is at the top of the neck. And just finding those 2 points like on either side of the cervical spine and gently massaging in. Get 2 or 3 more breaths. And then as you release, just inhale the arms up, exhale, let them float all the way down. And then we're going to place our hands on our lower belly and close your eyes. We're just going to finish up our practice here. Relaxing breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And if you can, make that exhale longer than your in-breath. Feel your belly relaxed and soft, just allowing tension to dissolve. Noticing your emotional state. Notice if you feel a little calm, a little more relaxed than you did at the beginning. And you can also use a little mantra here if you want to. If you find yourself getting frustrated or angry, you could use a mantra to bring yourself back into this state of relaxation. So while we're in this state of relaxation, you're just going to say to yourself, I am calm, I am relaxed. And then your body will remember this feeling of where you are right now. And if you use it when you're starting to feel like you're getting upset, before you go into full blown anger and frustration, and you just start, close your eyes, I am calm, I am relaxed, and noticing how that shifts for you, right? So it's a little thing I'm going to give you guys to try next time. So just say it now to yourself, I am calm, I am relaxed, and your brain will remember this feeling, right, that you feel right now. So say it about 4, 5 more times just to yourself. And if you have your hands on your belly, right, so the tactile feeling, the relaxed state that you're in. So if you put your hands on your belly and say those words to yourself, just see how quickly your body will shift back into that calm state. This is just a technique we use to anchor ourselves when we start to feel like our emotions are getting out of control, right? So we want to learn how to control our strong emotions that are not productive. They're more negative. We want to bring ourselves back into feeling positive, feeling good. So this is just a way to anchor into calmness. Okay, so you can go ahead and release the mantra if you're still saying it to yourself. And you can take your hands off your belly and just rest them on your thighs. Just take a moment to check in and see how you're feeling. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your sit bones on your chair. Okay, so we're going to slowly bring ourselves back here. So you can slowly sit up. You can blink open your eyes. You can remove any props that you may have. All right, we're going to bring that intention back into the heart. So let's reach the arms out, gather it up, pull it into your heart space. Take a moment to sit with it. And then also thanking yourself for taking time out of your day to practice with me. And then we'll join our palms together and we're going to move the thumb knuckles up to your third eye point. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.